Okay, dear viewers, ladies, gentlemen, and things in between, the 7th and 8th rounds of the ARC Touring Car Cup are upon us. Or, I was about to say are imminent. Your fancy words, Riker. I'm trying to sound more photosynthesis over here. It is the Red Bull Ring that is hosting tonight's events. I think I may be a little early on starting the broadcast. I don't think we're really that close to the start of qualifying here because people are still switching in between lobbies. And I don't even yet know how many, I don't even know how many total cars are actually entered. Probably less than usual, since it's Memorial Day in America and the great racing holiday that well, only Americans are really breaking for because we had the Monaco Grand Prix earlier this morning, and I'm sure most people would have probably done this over that, but most of our NASCAR-adoring fan base would rather, what in God's name, would rather watch the Coke 600 than this, so case in point, my teammate, who's once again choosing to do absolutely nothing. At least NFR has one car in the field today. Regardless, yeah, like I said, happy Memorial Day, but time does not stop, and neither does AutoRacingConnected, so we carry on with the championship, pretending it's not a national holiday, mainly because the person who runs the league is Canadian, but that's not the point. Just like it's been, usually then qualifying and the opening part are on the short layout, and we are getting into qualifying, so I didn't actually have to fill in that much time talking. I need to close my door. That is the start timer. Ow, my ears were not prepared for that. Unplug my controller now. It's been fully charged for a couple of hours at this point. Who was the first guy to go? It was Kevin Kepley. We do have somewhere, there he is, Connor Brown. I swear that name sounds familiar, but then again, that's probably just because that's just a kind of standard American name, I suppose. It'd be like not far removed from like John Smith or Alex White or something. Anyway, he is NFR's third driver, and that for a while was rounding out the full sign-up sheet, but he's not in this lobby, but there is now a fourth KVM driver, Gary Vladimirak, one of the two. I was not given confirmation on how to pronounce his name because even his own team owner just told me good luck. So really not a great vote of confidence, so to speak, if even the guy who he's driving for doesn't know how to say his name. But we're going to get a heck of a lot of laps in this 10-minute qualifying session, since the short track is only about a 50-something second lap time. So we could see as many as 10 qualifying laps put in by one driver in the session. And the first of those is completed by Luke Allen, and it is a 54-3 that's immediately defeated by his teammate, Kevin Kepley. And they're both ahead of AJ, though, who, according to pre-race talks, has been struggling with turn 1, as we see him nearly deviate from the track limits, and I think he actually may have done. Oxta Collins jumps to third. That is quite impressive. Connor Brown tops the charts with the camera that There we are. I had to look for him. Into the zeros. We may see a sub 54 by the end of the session, but I don't know if we're going to get any higher than that. And something tells me if we do see one, there's a good chance it's not run by somebody in this session, but probably in the other one. I don't actually know how many cars are sending home today. That's yet to be confirmed in any way, shape, or form. Another time, almost not quite an improvement at all, actually, not even close. Van Wee jumps to second at some point with his own 096. It is a day for the all-wheel drive competitors. They are dominating the top 6. I guess that slow hairpin here that we're watching Darius and the Mustang take is probably benefiting them a little bit. Also probably helps that literally out of the 10 people in this lobby, 8 of them are in a 4-wheel drive car. But that is not the point. What in the world did you do? Probably pit line, actually. You've both done that, haven't you? Oh, AJ is coming up on absolute madness here. Oh, that was a little bit goofy from Voiles, who I guess after getting a 4th driver, he's no longer the full-time runner, but he's running tonight because I think somebody is absent. I think it's maybe Brown? Alexander Brown? Are they related? I feel like they're not. Regardless, he's given himself a new livery, which looks like a school bus. I think that's actually not even just looks like, I think that actually is the goal, and I'm not really sure if there's a reason behind that. I was trying to read that sponsor on his quarter panel, and I thought maybe that had something to do, like, some kind of, like, children's charity. What in the 53-4? I was like, oh, we might see a sub 54. Yep, we have. Oh boy, have we. What is that? Preston Van Wee just broke physics with that lap time. That's the only way I can possibly think. That's an outlap. Kepley, I think, just got probably going to get yelled at for that one. That was quite wide at T1. Yep, he did. Watch Brown attack the short course hairpin. Up 400ths. If he stays on this pace, he can get ahead of Robichaud and get back to the front row, but he's going to need a heck of a lot more than that to manage a 53-4. I don't know how he found that. Well, there's AJ with the 53-8 in the same machinery, but not the same team. I know the Genesis is supposed to be kind of like meta here today at Red Bull Ring. The daily race is running the same car track combo. There's a 53-7 for Connor Brown, so he does in fact get onto the front row despite AJ moving the goalpost. He almost improved it. Another 5-0. I don't think I see a timeline where that really gets threatened too much. 53.68 for Robichaud. A 7.09 for AJ Knickel. That moves him back ahead of Connor Brown. This is also looking pretty fast. He might be on course for an improvement. No, he isn't. Never mind. Robichaud finds a 10th in Sector 1. That's the start line right here. A big improvement, gaining a spot, I think, for Darius and the Mustang, jumping over Pat Maher. Kyle Voiles a second and a half off of everyone else's pace. That tells me he may be getting sent home again, if there's any cars to send home. Robichaud finds a 6.79. AJ Knickel finds a 6.71. The battle for second in this qualifying session is insane. We'll see what Connor Brown can bring to the table. All three of them attempt to find some answer for this 4.95 that got run a couple of minutes ago, and there's been no solution found. I still cannot quite understand what... He must have gotten like a major slipstream on all three straightaways. His teammate is in here. The, two of Oxtacle, and he finds more time! Wait, no he doesn't. I'm looking at the wrong driver. I saw the 2.24 in Voiles' new lap time and thought it was him. Whoops. He does not find more time. Oh my god, it is congested on this short chute to turn 2. I suppose you're gonna get that when you put 10 cars on a track that's, what, 1.25 miles long? Van Wee's desperately searching for free space on the road. He may have a hard time finding any, as the final laps of the session are about to begin for all of the drivers. Just take note of who took the line first, or rather who's going to end first. I think it's going to be... no, it's not going to be you. It's going to be... Darius in the Mustang is going to be the last one to start a lap, I think. If my calculations are correct. Actually, he might be about a second off. So this will be his final lap. Barely staying in track limits. 53.6. He did not get that in time, so his session is over. He doesn't find an improvement. Nor does Oxtaconis. That is still a workable lap, I would say. Here comes Van Wee to take the checkered. Does he improve it further? He doesn't. But I don't know that he had to either. Ooh, where? No improvement. AJ Knickel finds it at the last minute. He finds a 3.31 to deny Van Wee. I mean, I guess I can't really be sure it was pole, because we don't even know what the other session's doing, but... Preston Van Wee will not top the charts today, but that is still a dramatic improvement for ECR in terms of qualifying, who have been a... Well, they've been making the races, but they've not been running the top half of the field up until apparently right now. If this qualifying pace is any indicator. But AJ snatches it away at the last second. 53.331. I didn't think anyone could do it. I thought that 4.9 was just untouchable, but clearly I've not been around the league long enough to understand. Just 8 years, almost 9, longer than anybody else in this race except the man who runs the league. I still don't know how things work around here. Can attempt to check in with the other lobby, see what everyone is saying. It doesn't seem like he's saying anything as of yet. So we are sending 2 cars home. Red One's lobby has 7, and we had just 10 now. still nothing coming through in terms of a result. Unless I missed it. I did not. Do 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 do. Ugh. My neck just cracked a little there. That was not fun. I don't even know who the 7 that were in the other lobby are. All of them, anyway. I know DFR Racing Trio are in there. 55,258 is their slowest, so, well, that's definitely confirming we're sending Kyle Voiles home once again. Joel Grant is the other one not making the cut. No, Alexander Brown is here. So, I guess he was just a reserve? Why was he... I don't know why Voiles was even here then. I thought that wasn't even allowed. Still have no idea who actually took pole. We didn't actually get a full results from Ridwan's lobby. We just were only told who the slowest time was, and that's how I know that Joel Grant is credited with 16th. Because it was his 55-2 that was the cut line, and then Pat Maher is the one who will start 15th. I know that. Wait, no, I don't know that, because there could be somebody in that lobby who ran a 54-9 or something. I don't know. All I know is that I know nothing. I wish I had, like, a commercial or something to just display, so I could just... Or, like, a please stand by screen, maybe, like those, like Twitch streamers would have. Okay. I am unsure why we just did that. Okay, well, there's There's a new one. Maybe there was some weird bug or something in the lobby. Not getting any kind of feedback on that. Must be some kind of livey trouble or something. I literally just had enough time to have a conversation on Discord, and we still haven't begun the race session. I totally spaced out. I forgot I'm supposed to be doing a broadcast, and was like, oh, I'm just gonna look on Discord. One of the servers I'm in is really active. They're doing some NR 2003 race. And then I'm just like, look back up, and I'm like, oh, right, ATCC. Oops. My bad. Getting absolutely no real explanation here. I don't know why we reset the lobby, much less do I know. Like... Yes, now that they're waiting for somebody, all 15 drivers are on the course, so... Are they just really struggling to figure out the grid like that? Situation unclear. Must be that time of the evening where we're just gonna... Oh, there we go. 6 minutes and a whole lobby reset later, we are finally on the starting grid. And this time you will have a formation lap, since it's not the, you know, like 20-something kilometer long Nordschleife. It's instead like, is this even 3 kilometers long? I don't think it is. Actually, this thing is probably barely over 2 kilometers long. I don't remember how long it is in American units, so I don't know how long it is going to be in kilometers either. I routinely forget that this version of the Red Bull Ring exists, just in general. For me, it just isn't the Red Bull Ring unless your car is struggling to get up the hill, and everybody has a massive argy-bargy brain fart into the triangle-shaped hairpins at the top of the circuit. It just isn't the real Red Bull Ring without that, you know? I see AJ has narrowly defeated the FR Racing Brigade. Looking like the redcoats over here. It's just AJ, the lone Rain-X car. Ran we with 5th. Oh yeah, starting grid. AJ Kanickel, Yunus Idkunen, Boryoshi, Ridwan Hamza. So the slowest FR car, despite winning both rounds at the Nordschleife. Van Wee, 5th. Stefan Robichaud, Rodrigo Rigaldo, Alexander Brown, Connor Brown, Gary Ladomarak, Kevin Kepley, AJ Oxtakolnis, Luke Allen, Darius in the Mustang, and Pat Maher rounds out the grid. So, Division 47 bookending the starting grid as AJ takes us back to the front straightaway. And whenever he elects to go, we will be green from the Red Bull Ring. We are away. Across the start-finish line, and AJ is already pretty safe and clear, but the 3 Scirocco's are about to have to settle things themselves here. Hamza will get ahead of his Finnish teammate off the line. I think we saw, I want to say that was one of the Mustangs nearly getting out of shape. Rigoletto nearly moving Preston Van Wee to the grass in a bit of defense to claim that position. Alexander Brown looks to try and take advantage of his teammate's defense, and will do that. Van Wee immediately getting picked off the line by a pair of Fords. Perhaps a bit of a fluke in the qualifying department from him. Oh, big contact. Connor Brown late on the brakes, finds the back end of the other new driver in Ladomarak. Neither one has damage. Oh, everybody is all over the place. It is absolute madness in the mid-pack. But everything is pretty structured in the top 6. Whilst Rigoletto's teammates escalate chaos from 7th on down. You've already got 2 packs forming. You have completed a single lap of racing, man. Both those Mustangs have penalties, so Van Wee's going to get ahead of them again for now. As will Connor Brown and Kevin Kepley, by the looks of it. Rigoletto also had one up... No, wait, no, never mind. That's not him. I just saw the last name and thought it was. I was like, what kind of penalty did he have? What did he do? No. He's hanging onto the back of the Volkswagens up there. The Volkswagens and Stefan. And we can try his best to get up there. I don't know how far he'll get. Maher versus Allen into turn 1. This camera needs to get with the program here, man. Allen will take a wide course and remain in 12th. Oxtacolnis has not had the start he needed. Brown versus Kepley in the early part of Sector 2 of the short course. Bumper to the back of the 07, I think that would have been. He would have been 3 wide, but Kepley had a big penalty to serve, so he will fall back behind the pair of them. Everything is all single filed out now. I mean everything. This looks like probably like the Coke 600. Definitely like the Monaco GP earlier. Maher's gonna go for it again for 12th place down the inside. The 6 car, or the 7 versus the 8. That's not a 6. Now it's the long way around, but you can hold it in even in a Group 4 car. It looks like Maher will finally get that completed. No further response from Allen, who's now under threat from the Mustang. Oh, I thought Oxtacolnis was just going to send it down there, but he... no, that was just a perspective thing. He was never planning to do that. Oh, Knickel's defensive. He thought Yoshi was going to go on his inside. Pseudo-delayed crossover attack. Now we're going to be 3 abreast on the exit of turn 1 heading to 2. Yoshi with his elbows out. AJ is forced to return the crossover attack. Is chopped off at the apex. Another crossover on the other end of the corner, and it looks like that's coming up Volkswagen. So lead change on lap 5 of actual racing, and it looks like the 2 Scirocco's are going to go to war behind him as well. Oh, bumper to the back of the 47, Ridwan with big contact. Meanwhile, Regalado is doing whatever that was. I think maybe trying to avoid Robichaud more than trying to pass. See if AJ can claim his lead back on the front straightaway. He has to be cognizant of that bump at turn 1, though, that the Genesis has supposedly been struggling with. He does not continue his bid for the lead. He's instead under threat from the Australian behind. But I think he'll outbreak that. I think we'll soon find the Scirocco will struggle a little more on the full circuit because it's got 2 full stop hairpins to make as opposed to kind of a medium speed or like medium low speed sweeper that is turn 2 here. Van Wee has found his way into this pack of cars, freed from whatever was going on back here. He's managed to get to within a second of Robichaud up ahead, courtesy of all of the battling they've been doing. Poor Yoshi just ran the fastest lap of the race in his attempts to escape the Canadian driver he's stolen the lead from. And, man, his Mustangs are just not getting it right with these penalties. Track limits are just continuously smacking them around, and what Vladimirak, I think is how that looks pronounced to me. Gary in the Mustang has also grabbed one, which will lose him a spot to Kepley in the Evo. Tire wear probably not going to be a huge issue here, if only because you're only making 5 turns in 1 lap. I was taking a drink as they went through turn 1 there. I saw AJ get out of shape, and I was like, "Oh, don't crash now! I can't call it. My mouth is full of a drink." I physically cannot speak yet. Wait until I have swallowed my beverage. There's Rodrigo serving his time penalty. He will not lose a place to it, but Robichaud will get right up to the back of him. I almost thought that was bumper to the back of the 22 for a second, but I don't believe it was. Van Wee is definitely there. Half a second off of the French-Canadian driver. Oh, we're going for the lead. Down into turn 1. AJ's trying to go the long way around. He is forced out of real estate just about, but he's hanging on. He's still going to have to go the long way around again at 2. And should be the inside now. I said should be. Yoshi could, in fact, get ahead enough to close the door off, but that's going to hurt his exit. But I don't really know if you pass into this next right-hander, even if AJ was close enough, which it doesn't really seem like he is. No. Luke Allen's had a major meltdown while I was looking away. He's about to fall back into last, potentially. If Darius decides to send it, he does. Luke is not really going to fight back. Fighting back, however, is AJ Knickel, but he's actually defending from Ridwan. I'm not really sure what went on while I was looking at the fact. What was I about to say, the faster half? That's just not true, Riker. They're in the back. They are not faster, or they would be up here. Also, my god, Eunice with what could have been a pole time, trying to stick with the top 3. And Yoshi is not taking the pressure. I mean, neither is AJ. That's because they fought. That's why that lap is slower. Come on. What kind of amateur are you? Ridwan going for second place. AJ trying to cling on for dear life. AJ's got to hope that the randomized grid is nice to him for race 2. Because I think the Genesis will have better chances on the short layout. Although while Yoshi is making good his escape plan with the help from his teammates' attacks. Falling off the back of Robichaud. Or actually, I think Robichaud has just gained a lot of speed, and he's trying to dispose of the 22 car. Perhaps in doing so, will probably bring Van Wee back into range, so to speak. I believe there is something of an allegiance or something there, affiliation, perhaps. He does not go for it. He releases the throttle. He doesn't feel like trying to contest into 1. Probably thinking he'd get a better exit from 1 than he just did and be able to use it on the Mustang, but he could not convert. AJ's still fighting for his life to keep the Australian driver at bay. It seems like it's only a matter of time. You still got to put this up for 10 more laps, unless something dramatic happens and Yoshi just kind of drops the ball or something or other. But they're both going to get penalties behind Knickel, and that's going to give him some much required breathing room, I would say. And we will also get one. And track limits are not holding, they're not going to sugarcoat it today. Half-second decel penalty. Connor Brown back up to 10th, fighting his way through the back half of the grid here. Luke Allen's back out of last, back ahead of Darius in the Mustang. At this point, even if somebody did tell me how to pronounce Darius's last name, I would still just call him Darius in the insert car name here. It's just become a thing. It's like Preston saying that AJ2 would have worked for Ox the Colonist as he gets overtaken by Pat Maher. Having been able to use that extra space to his advantage, AJ is back up to the tail of Yoshi, but he has, catching is one thing, passing is another, especially since the Scirocco does still have the slight top-end advantage. Slightly minimized here, since the straightaways aren't nearly as long, but it's still, a notable attribute of the car. And this is honestly why I know it's always been maybe a bit of a a controversy, albeit more of a microcosm than anything. But this is kind of why I do prefer series like this. I've never been big on spec series, because I just find looking at the different. Oh, there goes Gary. I just find racing a little more interesting when the cars all have varied characteristics. Like this, like ATCC just has so many different types of cars. You know, I think it was pointed out in the first race that there was a battle between 3 different drivetrains for position. I think there were like literally 3 wide, with a front-wheel drive, a rear-wheel drive, and an all-wheel drive. Now it's AJ's turn to pick up a penalty, and that's gonna hurt because Red One is right there, ready to claim his position, and probably attempts to get back after his teammate because he's waited on that for so long. It's hard telling who has more pace, because Boriyoshi is the only one who's managed to get ahead of the Canadian. Red One may not even have the speed to get up to Yoshi once the Genesis is out of his way. He would have a chance at it now, and I think he actually might just get it. He has to go a long way around, though. AJ's not going quietly. He's probably trying to bait Red One into making a mistake and grabbing a penalty of his own, which he might have just done. He did, in fact, just do that. He should have just waited. AJ was going to get D-Cell pen right here. Suddenly, Rigo Auto is back in the fight, and Robichaud and Van Wee are not far away. So this is about to hurt, AJ. Just close your eyes and take a deep breath. There goes the Volkswagen duo. Unfortunately for AJ, Idkonen has not gotten a D-Cell, so he might get the spot back on Red One if he's in the right place, but he's not going to be getting back ahead of the 46 without, you know, getting his elbows out and putting a little bit of elbow grease into it. And now, all the while, Yoshi is fleeing for his life. I don't think he has to really flee that urgently, though, because he does already have 3 seconds of breathing room, and that's going to expand once Red One, you know, gets his D-Cell here. As my microphone cord continues to get in my own way. Brown has also gotten up to the back of Van Wee. Oh, Alexander Brown, because there's 2 Browns. Connor Brown is just kind of on a bit of an island in 9th, having overtaken. What is going on? Oh yeah, the penalty is right. The thing that I mentioned, like, a minute ago, yeah, that happened right here. AJ will have to put in the work himself to get ahead of Idkonen, but he's going to have to pack a lunch because the Scirocco, as I've mentioned, still has the slight top-end advantage. I'm having a moment with the cameras here. You can't even outbrake it either. Eunice managed to brake just late enough to keep the Genesis away and still get a better run on the way to turn 2. Red One also got a better run. He's going to try and shoot around the outside of the 47. That's going to be the inside here. Red One might just have this. Ooh, boy, that was a sharp turn in from Kinnickel. There was barely room left there, but from the perspective that the replay gave you, it looked like AJ was just about to side bash him, Speed Racer style. More defense. Red One now having to deal with the 22 filling his mirrors. Van Wee is ahead of Robichaud. I'm not sure how that's transpired. I completely missed on that. It just came up in the chat there. I only saw that barely in the corner of my eye. Gary rejoined the lobby for race 2 or something. Well, he had a 22 in his mirrors, but after this D-Cell penalty, he's going to have to reel him back in. He wants to contest for 4th or higher. I don't know if it'll be too hard to reel them back in, considering they're fighting. Speaking of fighting, that's going to be an interesting 3-car fight for 6th as well. Now it's Van Wee is also soon running for his life. He's defending from Robichaud into the second to last turn. Well, I guess he had a reason to. Robichaud just had that much overspeed that he was able to get by anyway on the outside of F1 turn 8. And Brown's going to do the same darn thing. The 2 car has been properly mugged in the 3rd sector of this circuit. Holy cow. Oh, these 2 are still going to war. They got back up to Eunice. I didn't think they would. I thought it was going to be Ridwan versus AJ for the podium. I didn't think they'd actually get back up to the 46 car by the end of the race, but they have. Oh boy, have they ever. AJ elects not to go for it into... would that be 5? I think, with the short layout. That is not the run, not enough of a run for AJ Kinnickle. He got the better exit, but he's not in a Scirocco. He's gonna reel him in. He's gonna have to send it though. It's the only way he can get the pass down. He's got to just dive bomb Eunice or catch him in a mistake. He does not have the top end to just get it done on merit, because the Scirocco can kind of neutralize a good exit from most of these turns by just having better high-end acceleration and a slightly better top end. The white flag is about to fly in the first race. Boriyoshi has it in hand, especially when Kinnickle decides now is the time. Bumper or contact between the 46 and 47. I couldn't really tell what was going on there because the replay camera really didn't help matters. Eunice still remains in second, and now AJ is just going to force his own teammate to be boxed in. Eunice does not move out of the way, but Ridwan is still able to out-drag the Genesis, so AJ is going to end up falling to the Scirocco Brigade at the last possible... No, he's not. They're both got penalties. AJ is going to get back to second just because of track limits. Well, not just because, but you get the point. They're both about to decelerate here. They're both going to lose a spot to AJ. Regal Auto might end up on the podium here in a Mustang if they have to decelerate enough. He's definitely going to get to 4th. They're going to be 3 wide, aren't they? Oh, this camera still isn't helping any. They were 3 wide. Regal Auto just hip-checked Itkunen off the circuit. He's going to get to 3rd. Boriyoshi is going to get a convincing victory. Kinnickle gets 2nd. Regal Auto 3rd. Although I don't know if Itkunen might take him to the stewards for that door-to-door collision, but that could just as easily have been netcode too, since it is a guy from Peru and a guy from Finland. Van Wee eventually ends up in 8th. Connor Brown 9th. Maher rounds out the top 10 after starting, I think, 15th, so it's a solid display for him. It is not a solid display for Luke Allen, who's just kind of putzing along back here. I'm not really sure. And that will wrap things up from Red Bull Ring. It is Boriyoshi on top in race 1. That makes it our 3rd winner after a 7th round of racing. It took long enough. Well, that's settled. Time for a short intermission before we get to the big event. The big kahuna, if you will. I certainly do wish I had a more appropriate beverage than Mountain Dew. It tastes good and keeps you awake, but it doesn't really do much to kind of, like, soothe your throat, you know? Which is what I actually need while I'm commentating. Just had a second Discord conversation in the middle of a broadcast. These lobby wait times are something else. They're doing the top 6 randomization. The front 6 shuffle, you might call it. I think it's that Gary is having connectivity issues. That's what we're trying to wait on here. Almost had it. And drifting to Group 4 on racing tires isn't exactly easy. Any day now. I could have gone to the bathroom while this was going on. Wish I had. And I had to sit through a half-hour race with a stomachache. The joys of being me and having a body that overreacts to everything I put in it. Doesn't matter if I drink a glass of water or have a bowl of chips. It elicits the same bodily reactions all across the board. And it's not pleasant to have to schedule your day around. Regardless, the starting grid gods have given Regal Auto pole for race 2. Be interesting to see that Mustang squirm out of the hairpins. Regalado is on pole versus Knickel getting second, so exactly where he finished. Yoshi moves to third, then that is Alexander Brown, then Ridwan, and then Eunice. And then the rest are as they were finishing round one. Vladimirak moved to the rear due to, well, not finishing, so... You're in for a much longer formation lap as, well... Obviously, this is the full circuit, in case you didn't notice somehow. Brown, you're getting a little too into it there, bud. The tires will heat up just fine without you nearly spinning the car. Regalato's even keeping the brakes warm by the looks of it. That's definitely something you'd have to do in real life. I just realized that that's not centered at all. Oh, boy. That number is not centered. Or maybe it is from, like, the axis of the decal itself, but it's not visually centered, and my OCD doesn't like it. Please remove it from my field of view, for the love of God. Anyway, the field has doubled up. We are moments away from taking the green here for the 14-lap feature race, so to speak, of the full GP circuit, complete with 2 hairpins. Now, I think 3 heavy braking zones and a high probability for some netcode and bumper shenanigans and probably some big crashes on the way up to 3 and 4. No, up to 3 and down to 4. But when Regalado hits the gas, that's the brake. He is trying to mess with our heads. Now we are green, and Kaneko wasn't fooled too much, but neither was Yoshi. They're going to actually be too wide. No, Yoshi's just going to get ahead. Never mind. It's going to be AJ versus Brown into 1. Alexander with the inside, but also very sideways, as Mustangs are known to be. So Yoshi with the definite hole shot is going to have a chance at the lead just 3 corners into the event. And it's a very real shot, too. Does Regalado even fight it off? He goes for a crossover maneuver, tries to get the better line on the way out, but the Scirocco's top speed is going to make that possibly a moot point. Yep, now they're evening out, and here comes the Volkswagen. They bang doors on the way to turn 4. Bars, Regalado still has the inside. He kept his bumper there, so he's gonna remain in the lead for the time being. AJ Knickel is right there, trying to maybe gain some commiseration from losing in the first race to Yoshi. I don't think that's the word I was looking for, personally, but regardless. Van Wee up to 7th. Somebody had a penalty. It was Ridwan. On board with the 41 as he is in pursuit of the leading Mustang, while keeping in mind there's a Canadian back there who probably didn't like losing to him in the first race. Vladimirak continues to have connectivity issues, so he will be 15th. That is very close quarters there. Well, that used to work. You used to be able to hold down the L2 button, they wouldn't move the camera until you were done scrolling. I was trying to look at the back half just to check in. There goes Oakgown ahead of Darius in the Mustang. I think that's the only wild card rep here today. I just realized. Round with a penalty. Ikonen is under threat from Van Wee in the Genesis. That will be dissuaded though. Oh, that's a shot. Should have stayed there longer, honestly. That would have been way cooler if they just kind of watched all the top 10 go by. I guess top 9. Maher's pretty far back, but... It's like a carousel, or a Congo line. Well, Ridwan did have a run on Yoshi, but he's going to hit a half sec. That's actually going to put him under threat from his other teammate. And therefore, under threat from the 2 car, who's very sideways. It's difficult to get this thing sideways, all things considered, so that's almost impressive in its own way. Darius is on the move. He's into 11th. He was at one point last of the running cars when Luke Allen was passing him at turn 3. Now suddenly he is leading this third train of vehicles. Oh, that is chaos up there. AJ Knickel's going for the lead against the 22. I don't really know what happened to Yoshi that he's behind all 3 of them. There's big contact. The Mustang is out of shape. Through goes Alexander Brown. And it looks like poor Yoshi will also be able to capitalize on things. Or try. So Regal Auto, losing control on the top of the hill, is going to go from 1st to possibly 4th if he's not mindful. He has to shoot the long way around to hang on to 3rd. I don't think Yoshi will let him. No, Regal Auto will be demoted to 4th place after that folly. And it's a different Mustang leading the field in the form of Alexander Brown. It took my brain a second to even process what was going on there. Slowing the uptake there, Riker. That is very close to the edge for all of the top 4, honestly. The Stewarts could easily smacked any one of those guys. Instead, they'll smack Ridwan again. He is not having the day right now, considering he just won twice at the Nordschleife last week. He's now going to fall back to 9th, even before the D-cell pen, if he's not careful, as Connor Brown moves ahead of the Volkswagen. Potentially. He'll have to outbrake it, which he may have just done. Alba's out a little bit, but I don't think there's a whole lot else he could do. You just kind of get pushed wide there at turn 4, turn 3, just how it's shaped. There's more door banging between the other Mustang and Kinnickle. No, nowhere near as severe this time. And I think Alexander Brown may be good to hang on to the lead there. No, he did not get clear. The Genesis found mid-range acceleration that kept AJ Kinnickle's bumper in. And we continued the battle through the last part of the sector. My voice is getting up. Oh, they're still too wide. They've been too wide for four corners. Oh, my lord. Words come out of my mouth. Please, thank you. They're still too wide. Is this a waltz? Finally, we have decided the winner. Alexander Brown defends his lead. Now Boriyoshi has joined the battle. It's going to be a 3-car battle. I don't know of any dance types that are 2 partners. Very sideways Mustang on the exit of turn 1. That is a high slip traction zone. 6 cars basically under our blanket here as we traverse the hill. Voice, please, come on. Back there for 7th, they're also fighting Ridwan, trying to stay relevant. Bumper to the quarter panel of the 07. Or maybe he just turned in on Ridwan. It's hard to tell from where that camera was at. Connor Brown will get the spot, though. Everybody's fanning out. What is going on? Alexander Brown defending from AJ Kinnickle. We're going to do this again, are we? Runs out of momentum. They bang doors. Time for another waltz down the middle sector of the Red Bull Ring, probably. Can we get something decisive? Oh, sideways Alexander Brown. AJ nearly understeering into the door of the 13 car. They are still fighting. Still leaving a bumper there. Finally, Alexander Brown is forced to submit to the will of the 47 car, but we're not done yet. I don't know what you've heard. He's coming back at him, but that's a crossover attack before we even hit the apex. My word! And that's the 13 back into the race lead. Crossover attack at turn 8? Are you even human? Who does that? AJ's going back for it again. Oh my word. They're going to be too wide again up the hill. AJ got down the inside, but he couldn't get the momentum to complete the move on the way out. Boriyoshi feels he wants a slice of the pie. They're 3 wide as we get on the brakes for turn 4. Who's going to win this one? It's going to be the inside lane for sure. 4-wheel drive is always going to win that. So AJ is going to get back to the lead. Brown falls to 3rd and gets a penalty for his misfortune. So that's going to put him back down to 4th, probably 5th or even 6th, as Robichaud decides he's going to join the I'm making an overtake party. And he's not going to get it done on Itkinen here, though. That's the long way around, and he's not going to out-accelerate the Scirocco, clearly. Regal Auto down the inside-ish of his teammate. Teammate. Kyle Voiles is not here, Riker. Yeah, this one's going to hurt, Alexander. It wasn't even necessarily your fault you got it, but you're going to lose a few places from that. Oh, no, never mind. He's only going to lose a spot to his teammate. Which I'm sure he's not that mad about. It is literally just a conga line. Van Wee has joined the battle. Just an 8-car train of absolute chaos as we crest the halfway mark of the event. We have literally split the field in half. We have these 8, and then we just have these 6. The entire field still contained on a single straightaway as we're halfway through the race. It helps that the straightaway is very long, but the fact it does remain. Genesis versus Ford versus Volkswagen. 3 manufacturers that you could only see fighting this viscerally on GT7. Pretty much only in ATCC. This is just unprecedented elsewhere. And admittedly, the rest of the field isn't really that much more varied. We've only got 2 Mitsubishis back here for CL7 and the singular NFR Subaru. Everything else is a Ford, Genesis, or Volkswagen. That's the word. Or I'm sorry, Riker. I've never heard of an before. Maybe explain that one to me. Man, that Mustang is really having a fit up there. But Regal Auto is still making it listen. He's got a run on Yoshi. He can't really do much with it here, though, because it's turn 8 at the Red Bull Ring, but nevertheless. Oh, is that a bumper there? It looked like a bumper, but that might have just been the camera angle I was given that looked like he put a bumper to him. Okay, we've had a bit of a break on lap 8. I need a drink before my throat literally collapses. Oh, there's the battle. I was like, there's gotta be somebody trying to pass right now, right? Maher versus Brown. And sweep around the outside. Can the Subaru get the traction? He can get the power down. Move done for Connor Brown. Smooth and simple through the outside of turn 3. Those are penalties for Robichaud and Van Wee. Really? You don't say, right, Gary? In other news, they found sharks in the water. We have eyes. Those are penalties. In other news, the sky is gray because it's cloudy and has a chance of raining by the end of the race. Oh, cameras. There we go. A bit of goofy camera work, we managed to get every car in one shot. More sideways Mustangs. Regal Auto has to save the car, and that will give third back to his teammate. The Mustangs playing effectively leapfrog at this point. Regal Auto is now under threat from the currently penalized Jonas Idkonen. Did Rodrigo himself get a penalty there? That looked like it was very wide on the way out of one, but I don't think the stewards care. I'm curious. Idkonen sure does. He's gonna try and shoot down the outside. Thought about a crossover, but I don't think he could get it rotated well enough. Me and Redwan both have half seconds. I should probably pronunciate that whole word. I mean like SECS, but you know, it doesn't sound like that, so that's my B. I could also, I guess, just say 0.5s or something. Okay, it seems like everybody is more or less settled into where they're gonna run this round, which is interesting. I thought we'd honestly see more chaos. Considering what we were being shown in like laps 5, 6, and 7, I thought it was just gonna be a non-stop melee until the end of the race, but things seem to have mostly settled down, barring like the occasional attempt at like Idkonen trying to pass Regalado earlier after his mistake. Not to say we're done, it's certainly a lot calmer than it was a few minutes ago. And then, no, a bad turn 4 for AJ. Turn 3, excuse me, might just be the start of the beginning of the end as we know it. Yoshi trying to go 2 for 2 on the weekend. He's got a Rain-X sponsored machine in his way of that. But if he's not careful, he may have more obstacles than that. He's going to have to be very decisive and very just definitive with the way he grabs the spot away. Almost made contact there, it looked like, but I think that's, again, just the replay camera angle just looking a little weird. I think unless I see a vehicle moved significantly off its line, I should just never think that there was ever contact. Just never even assume. Because even when there is contact, sometimes cars don't move. And sometimes, even when there isn't contact, cars move. Because welcome to GT7 netcode. It's gotten a lot better from where it was when we started, but that does not mean that it is anywhere near perfect. Okay, nobody's really having tire wear issues, so it is just going to be a run to the line. Effectively, there's not going to be anybody pitting. The worst tire wear in the field right now, I think, is Connor Brown, and that's still definitely more than okay to get to the finish. Oh, we got a battle on our hands. Darius versus Pat. trying to get into the top 10, heading up the hill. Gonna be difficult for Darius to get the power down here. Gonna be offline and everything. Maybe not. Maybe he won't have any problems at all, and he's just gonna take 10th away right there, right then and there. We've got like mini pairings now. We've got the front two fighting. We've got Regal Auto right on the back of Brown. We've got the two Volkswagens, 5-6, really close together. And then we have Robichaud versus Van Wee. Very different ways of approaching that long left-hander, which I think is actually just because Van Wee missed the turn by the looks of it. Connor's a little bit on an island at the moment. 4 seconds behind Preston, 3 ahead of Darius, who's just claimed 10th. And then we have a 3-car fight for 11th as the CL7 duo are attempting to take the positions away from Pat as well. Luke Allen's already got his. That is Kepley running him off the track, and that is a destroyed Genesis. That was only a 1-car incident, though. That may not be a penalty. That'll be a penalty, I think. I don't know if that'll be a safety car. It would be in real life, or at least a VSC. We don't do those. It would be interesting to see if we could try and figure out how to do that, but just in-race communication would be difficult, and it would be impossible to really moderate as any kind of a delta, so I guess probably no. We will not be doing that anytime. Oh, Yoshi's got a penalty. That's going to make AJ's life a heck of a lot easier. It's going to drag him back down just barely clear of Alexander Brown when that gets served in a few seconds. Whoa! GT1 handling, that is big contact. Yoshi probably couldn't account for a drifting Mustang in front of him, as I think Brown had to make last-second evasive maneuvers. 2 to go. We can't really have a safety car anymore, though, so that's going to be interesting to see in the stewarding room later if anything can be done about that. But for the moment, down the inside goes Rodrigo Rigaldo on Boryoshi after the half-second was served. just under 2 laps left of racing to do. AJ has this in hand now that Yoshi's gotten that penalty and is now going to have to fight for his right to stay in P2. Rigaldo cannot get it turned in. He cannot make it bite for the crossover. Maybe that was never his plan, as my lungs are starting to cave as well. You can probably hear it as I clear my throat every few minutes. I can't stop it. Do we see a dive? We don't. Instead, see a darn near missed apex and some interesting throttle work. Very sideways 22 car. I think he's trying to push his way up to that Volkswagen up there, and it may just cost him. As, well, the Volkswagen's got back up, and he doesn't. As Alexander Brown fell to 8th after whatever just happened on the previous lap. I know what happened, I just don't know how it happened, or the context. White flag is in the air. It's going to be Rodrigo versus the Volkswagens as he attempts to hang on to a podium position. He might have a chance to try and take second away from Yoshi, but it's that depends on how he gets out of 3 up here. He blocks Ridwan, moves back to the racing line. Ridwan's not deterred. He's going to get down the inside anyway. And might just move ahead. Nope, the Mustang with the better torque is going to pull him back out of turn 3 first. Last braking zone of the lap. Regal Auto takes a defensive line. Can he hang on to the podium? Ridwan cuts back to the racing line. Crossover administered. There's the line. Does he finish the job? The Mustang is still keeping a splitter. No, he's done so. Ridwan has made the crossover stick. He will steal the podium finish. Crucial damage limitation, I suppose, considering his less than optimal first round today, and the fact that his championship rival AJ is about to take the checkered flag in about 2 corners. Rigaldo sure is close, but there's nothing he can do. Not through 8 or 9. So AJ Knickel will win for, I think, what is this, the 3rd or 4th time. He took another victory at the Red Bull Ring. Boriyoshi 2nd, Ridwan 3rd, Rodrigo 4th, Eunice 5th, Robershad 6th. A big day for Preston with 7th, after I believe 9th. Connor's going to get a penalty on the last lap that puts him behind Darius. Still for 10th. Kepley, Allen, Oxtaconis, and Pat Maher, who was as high as 11th, I think, in the race, will be last. So, the starting grid for race 1 was bookended by Vision 47, and the finishing order of race 2 bookended by Vision 47. Nonetheless, that will wrap things up here from me for... I just got very much confused by something I've just read. But yeah, that'll do it from me for rounds 7 and 8 from Red Bull Ring. We will take a week off, and then we will head to Sardinia Road C and B for our next 2 races. But until then, quick shout outs to our 2 big sponsors, to DIVEBOMB, our title sponsor, motorsport news outlet on all over the internet. I don't actually know what exactly they're on. I just know that they're a news outlet. And our title sponsor, yeah, very good. I was doing so well on these. And then also to the Racing Rats, who help us keep our Assetto Corsa leagues going smoothly with free mods of high quality, among other customer service things like that. But that is it for me. As you can tell, my nose is stuffing up. My voice is starting to go hoarse. So I shall bid you adieu.